also a referee, and Mr. Steven Adair, and also Mr. Kevin Olango, who is a player at Talanta FC, the goalkeeper. He's a veteran goalkeeper, Talanta FC.
Yes.
And also Mr. Abdul Karim Amele, team manager, Kibra United. So these individuals have been suspended by FKF pending investigations because they allegedly match fixed. That is match week 27.
Okay.
Kuna mechi ambazo zilikuwa match fixed, ambayo ni City Stars versus Talanta is also the game that is on the spotlight. But before I loop you in, Steve-O, this is the question that originates the genesis of our question of the day today. What should be done to stop match fixing in our Kenyan league? What should be done to stop match fixing in our Kenyan league? Remember, you can be part and parcel of the conversation by calling in and also engaging via social media platforms. That is Pal Radio KE across all social media platforms, pale X, Facebook, and kule kwingine
Kwa WhatsApp ama kwa text 0702 969 969, and if you want to call us live in the studio, it's 0701 969 969.
Tell us what you think about this particular one, because it has been a big story, especially this week. And Steve, just to kukuuliza, I was wondering, how the heck did this particular team manager find himself in this list? As in, a team manager, you are supposed to be there organizing for us games, organizing
but kuna
the
watu
team.
wana organize match fixing pia.
But I think it's a little bit understandable for referees and stuff. I'm not saying that it should be done, but when match fixing has been done, the culprits, a referee can be the top of the food chain when it comes to the culprits. If you just ask somebody, we unafikiria nini, referees can also be part of them.
So let me explain.
I think the big question of Ikwe, what is the root cause? Why must match fixing? Why
are people match fixing?
Yes. I think if you start from there, tunaweza jua what will happen, what's normally happen in the clubs. Yeah, Steve.
Me, I agree with you, Dantoz, but I also want to look at it in a multi-layered way.
Yeah.
First of all, acha nijibu Sedo your story at team manager. Sedo, you've been in team setups. You know how much power the team manager has.
Yes.
The team manager is basically the bridge between the management
and the team
and the playing unit.
Yeah.
Some team managers hold so much sway that should they say something or should they suggest something, the players are more likely to be swayed, especially if they are younger players. But now, to what Dantoz said, which is the root cause, it's very clear that our football, the level it is, it's not necessarily a professional level. We are more at a semi-pro level. So there are guys who get tempted. And why wouldn't you be? Because let's say if you're not playing for Gorama AFC, which have high salaries, let's say you're playing for a team that maybe on average wanalipa mseki to 25 to 30k per month. Then one guy comes and tells you, I need you to just do one foul in the box, peane pena. Now that monthly salary, I'll give that to you.
Times 10.
Now there are men of integrity who would stand up and say no. And there are many, and we have seen them. But there are also other men who, you know, as man is to err, would fall into that trap. And then now, you know, once you start something like that, it becomes sweeter and sweeter, and you don't feel like you can stop. The game in discussion was actually very interesting to read that report. Talanta versus City Stars.
Many penalties.
That game had 3 penalties.
3 penalties.
And 2 of them were missed. Yeah. And you're thinking, what are the odds? Haikuwagi very rahisi ati first game ikuwe na pena 3. Then haikuwagi pia rahisi kwa hizo pena 3 mbili kushikwa.
Very true.
So if you didn't suspect anything after that game, you now start looking and thinking, hapo kidogo the math is not mathing. 1 + 1 inakuwa 11, haikui 2. So match fixing is something that has been disturbing us for years. We've seen Kenyan players banned for life. But the reality here of the situation is, in a boil down to integrity. You as a person, what are your values? Do you know what you are there in football to do? Umeletwa kucheza ball ya nini? Because if we say wholesale solutions, there are solutions that can be made, but will they change who you are as a person? Not necessarily. And we've seen it also happen abroad. We've seen in Newcastle, midfielder Sandro Tonali was also recently outed for betting on his own team and sometimes even against his team. Those are some of the things that are basically character flaws. But on a wholesale level, if we were to tackle it, let's just say legislation. Because right now, Sedo, if you fix a football match, there is no law in the constitution of Kenya that says you can be taken anywhere. Hakuna pahali utapelekwa. So we need legislation in which someone who is match fixing,
yes,
can be scared.
Yeah, and that was exactly my point. We need laws that will prosecute match fixing, because I honestly think the Sports Act should be reviewed, and we also get a clause, or rather we have laws that will prosecute match fixing. Because look at a good example is the 5 individuals who have been named in this particular one, and the suspension is actually there, but of course they've been suspended from all football activities at the moment. Yes. You see, I honestly think that is not enough.
It's too little.
It's too little. Yeah. We should have something. We should have laws, and we should, to some extent, put it in the same category like doping. How doping is big. I remember there was a time AK was firm, and it stood its ground on athletes who will actually be found guilty when it comes to doping, that they will have a difficult time. Yeah, getting back the Kenyan jersey. So we need to have something that will make somebody at the end of the day who wants to match fix think
twice
before doing that one.
But I think all this boils down to a player, because even there was a time Harambee Stars player by the name George Audi Owino.
Yes.
He was banned by FIFA for life. That is 10 years. 10 years. Nakapigwa maybe fine at maybe some amount like $50,000 I think. But for me, if you ask me, we all we all are in estates with these players, and we see how they suffer, and we see how they move around.
We just know their lifestyle.
We just know their lifestyle. But some of them, they have good lifestyle. Some of them, they are struggling because they play for the game. Let me give an example. Let's say, for example, you are a player there, and maybe you have not been paid your salary. You stay in a house, maybe you're paying 15,000 shillings per month, and then someone somewhere calls you and tells you niaje sido iko hivi na hivi kuna msanta kucheki, so you'll just go usikia offer yake. Then after hearing is the offer that the guy is giving you, utaona mazema shida zangu zote like zimeisha.
They can all come to an end.
but all in all, this is football, and first of all in football unasemanga, if you don't have respect, I think first of all you need to respect first of all the game. After the game, and also I blame people running football here in Kenya. I don't have the right word to use for those guys who are running football in Kenya. I don't know if I can say they are lazy or they don't know their work, because let me give an example. When Eto aliingia kwa Federation ya Cameroon, they made their own rules. If you're a team and you're not paying these players this amount,
there was a minimum wage, and it's still there till today. I think that's even. I think we can emulate what Cameroon is doing back here in Kenya. I think now that we're going to the election, those people who maybe wataingia kwa hizo viti, they need to tell us about this doping thing. What are they going to do about this doping thing? Match fixing.
What are they going to do? How are they going to tackle it? First of all, if you ask me, pay your players. Na kama kwa ligi na maanisha lazima tukuna team. Is not a must to kuna team 16 ama team 20 kwa ligi. Wacha tukuna team 8 kwa ligi tujue.
Ethiopia has very minimal teams in their league.
Yes.
And they because they can manage those specific teams. Sustainability. So I stand with you, Dantoz.
Because as we have 16, we have how many I don't know how many players, how many teams in a league, but we are struggling. Some of the players, some of the teams wanapata walk over left, right and center. Yani this league of ours, by the way, I'm very saying, but it's not a serious league. It's not a serious league.
But of course, it's what we have, and it's what we're going to live with. And of course, that boils down to a question of the day. We asked you back there at home, tueleze, what do you think should be done to stop match fixing in our Kenyan league?
And if you want to be part and parcel of this conversation, the number is 0702-969-969. That's our text number, and also that's our WhatsApp number. Or you can call us in the studio, live in the studio, to be what you think about the mjadala ile tunahave hapa. The number is 0701-969-969.
Pearl Radio, the home of fresh and classic hits.